Hey, everybody. Joey from Tracer here, and I'm here with legend trail runner Sage Canaday, who is got a new program on Tracer for us. He's got the higher running half marathon program. So, Sage, thanks so much for joining me quickly here to do a little intro video of the new program.
Yeah, honored to be on.
Sweet. So, Sage, who is the new program for? What's the higher running half marathon? Who's it for?
Well, definitely people that want to do a road half marathon. Of course, I come from a trail background, but I've run a lot of road half marathons. More, I'd say, flatter courses, nothing like an extreme mountain half marathon. We've got plenty of other programs for that kind of thing. But anyone that's looking to run, I'd say, between 2.5 hours to even like a sub 115 half
Mm.
marathon be a good program for. So it could be your first half. I wouldn't say it's for totally fresh new runners that have never run more than 15 miles a week, but anyone above that level to a very advanced level, it could accommodate.
Right. So it's not a couch to half marathon program, but it is it's got a wide range, and that's one of the things I love about these tracer programs is if you're somebody who's a novice but you just kind of like want to do better in your first, maybe it's not even your first half marathon, maybe it's just you just want to do better but you're on the, more towards that 2 hour side, then this will work. But as you just pointed out, based on how you answer the onboarding questions and how you set up your schedule, it could also work. You're saying even down to like a 115, which is like, that's blazing fast for most people.
Yeah, yeah. Some serious runners who maybe have a lot of speed and talent who have been super experienced and they're running maybe over 50, 60 miles a week, 100K a week. You could, based on the intake questions, like you said, the program will adjust and accommodate for that kind of demanding speed sessions and volume and time on feet. But also, if you're more of a beginner and you are running 4 days a week and you only have time for 4 to 7 hours a week of training, kind of on some of the intake questions there, it automatically adjusts for you there too. So it's training you kind of at the right level and meeting you where you're at.
Awesome. Well, let's put it to the test. I'm going to sign up with my genuine answers, what I would think for me, and we'll kind of see how it does. So here in Tracer, we're in the um, marketplace page within the app, and we're going to click here on the higher running half marathon. He's got a nice picture of Sage and Sandy. You can read all about them and why they're qualified to coach you. And we're going to click enroll here. And I've already set it up for my race date is May 31st. So there it is right there. Boom. And then this is where you set up your schedule. So I'm going to say, I want to take Sunday as a rest day. I'm available Monday through Thursday for like a normal workout. And then Friday and Saturday, I'm especially available if you want to give me something longer on those days. Although on a half marathon program, the longer runs don't end up being that long, right? So this isn't like a 100-mile program or like 100K. Okay, so let's answer these questions. How many miles per week have you usually been running on average when you've been while you've been training for the past 6 months? Yeah, I do. I'm going to say 30 to 40 miles. Probably volume, it's more because I ski a lot. I backcountry ski and I skimo race and stuff. So maybe there, but we'll adjust it if we need to. That's kind of where I am right now. What's my goal for this half marathon? Ooh, I'm going to say I'm going to say sub 140 for me. I think I could probably do sub 130 and maybe push. Let's push it. Let's push it. I want to hit a 125. Okay.
Nice.
And then what's the longest I've run? I've done a lot of ultra marathon running, so I'm just going to max that out. Long runs aren't a problem. Okay. Let's enroll, hit the button, let it calculate a little bit. And boom, here comes my first 2 weeks of training. So let's take a look at it. So today it's got me doing an easy run of 50 minutes, tomorrow 70. And then my first kind of real workout would be fartleks, 8 reps of 2 minutes fast. How does this look to you, Sage? Like, how do you feel about this so far?
That looks great because you always take it into the context that you're not starting from scratch, but at the same time your race day, you're over 3 months out, so you have plenty of time. We want to progressively build you up with different workouts, and we like to start with the speed play or fartlek workouts a lot because they're more. You could kind of adjust the pace by your effort. So it's good pace change workouts, good moderate intensity, and yeah, getting the legs turned over nice and early in the cycle.
Awesome. Okay, so what would somebody expect? Like, obviously, it's only generating the first 2 weeks here. It's going to, more of these days will get populated. If I click this program tab, you can see some of the other kinds of workouts that I will expect to see. We've got long runs, we've got lactate threshold, a pre race workout, recovery, VO2 max intervals. So what would you tell somebody, like, how is this going to evolve from the beginning here where it looks like I'm getting about 1 or 2 workouts a week, some easy running, don't see any long efforts yet. What would somebody expect as this unfolds for somebody like me?
Yeah, so I mean, the program's individualized, so it'll change based on how you adjust things if you are sore or tired. But in general, we believe with a philosophy of periodization, where the dynamic of the workouts and the focus of the workout type kind of changes over time. So in general, you see those fartlek workouts, up tempo type of workouts more early on in the cycle. They're not quite as sharp and as intense. And then as we get more into the closer to race day in the coming weeks and months, there's usually a transition more to traditional VO2 max as well as lactate threshold types of workouts, kind of working on the even higher intensity spectrum. But it kind of ebbs back and forth. It's not this static cycle, it's a dynamic cycle. So it'll kind of adjust with what you need and when. And the long run is definitely not as much of a focus because it's a half marathon road program compared to if it was like the marathon or ultra program. There's generally more of a focus on long run, but they're still sprinkled in there from time to time. So you might see one every other week or every 10 or 12 days or so.
Yeah, that's really cool. I have to remind myself sometimes as an ultra marathon runner, like, if I go out for 70 minutes here, that's almost my goal. That is my goal time, or like getting close to it. It's like 85% of it or whatever. So yeah, the long runs, I'm just not used to training for a half marathon. In fact, it makes me kind of want to use it and just go do a half marathon just to kind of see what I could do and maybe complement some of the longer training that I do for ultra marathons. But okay, cool. So, and then of course, if you're looking at this and you're saying, okay, maybe that's too much or something, you can always come back here and adjust all of this stuff here. So these are your onboarding questions. Let's just say, I'm actually not running much at all, and we change that. It should come back and reflect that. Yeah, you can see that the volume's down on each of these moderate runs here, and it's going to do something a little different. The other thing that it's going to do is if you change your schedule. So let's just say, Fridays I'm no longer available. So I can come in here and say on this Friday, no go. And let's just say here, no go as well. And so I did that on 2 key workout days. You could see one got just kind of ignored, and you're going to give me a fartlek on Tuesday. This one that just pushed it to the next day. Let's kind of mess with the AI a little bit here and say, I'm no longer available at all on Friday and Saturday of next week. And we can see our up tempo or Sunday got pushed all the way out. So that's really where these programs shine, is that life isn't going to happen according to some static training plan. If you have to work, if you get sick, if you have something else going on, let's just say, let's go back and maybe say, you know what, today I feel especially sore on, let's say I go out and I have a friend one time who tiled his bathroom right before a race, and his quads and glutes from bending over,
Oh no.
he got so sore that he almost ruined his race from tiling his bathroom. So we're going to say I tiled my bathroom over the weekend. And so on this Tuesday, I'm feeling it. It's like, okay, let's do a little cross training, maybe take an easy day, then we'll hit the workout.
Smart.
How do you feel about that, coach?
Really good. Yeah, that's exactly what I want it to do. So it definitely what you want to do if after tiling. I don't want to be all sore and stiff going into the fartlek. So yeah, that adjustment's great.
Awesome. Okay, cool. What are some of your favorite workouts here? So this is kind of the workout deck that people are going to see. So what are some of your favorite workouts for this half marathon program and why?
Definitely probably the lactate threshold. I feel like they get introduced usually later into the program, but they're kind of the meat of 10K to half marathon racing because you're kind of right at that threshold. For a lot of people, you're going to be going in from LT1 to LT2. These target more LT2, but we also have the up tempo workouts, which are kind of on the LT1 side. So that transition, just because you're kind of like you're running fast, but you're still in control. So you could still be like working on your form, your running economy. It's just going to boost everything with your aerobic system and then how you deal with higher amounts of lactate too. So it's like a comfortably hard effort, but it's manageable. So you could really dial in your form and kind of like what your half marathon to 10K race pace might be like. Most of the workouts would actually be slightly faster than your goal half marathon pace on a flat road, assuming you're running over 75 minutes or 70 minutes for a half. So it's like slightly faster than that half marathon pace. And that really irons in that efficiency and running economy, I think.
Awesome. Um, okay, lactate threshold is a favorite. Give us one more. Give us a highlight of the program here.
Then VO2 max. I mean, they all blend together and they all work together to get you more fit. But a notch up from lactate threshold is the VO2 max, and you think more like 5K, 10K pace, and really hard, high intensity. But they're usually shorter efforts, so it makes it manageable. But the combination of going back and forth between some of those VO2 max, lactate threshold, really are going to boost your performance, especially on flatter road and track surfaces. And it also could help boost your performance if you go back to doing your longer ultras too. It's kind of getting that leg turnover and that speed. So they all kind of go together. And the fartleks early on in the program and the up tempo runs are kind of like introductions to those later on. So it's like we start with slightly less intensity, and then we build the intensity as we build some of the consistency in the training program. So that's kind of just a general theme. But like you said, it's going to be personalized and different for each athlete who signs up for the program.
Yeah. So one thing I want to point out here for people who are considering using this program or any tracer program for their training is, what is different, right? Like what is different about a tracer program versus a static that you could buy even from Sage? I mean, Sage sells half marathon static programs that you can go on his website, hire running and get those, and they're inexpensive and they're a piece of paper that gives you some idea of how to train. Or you could go sign up for a coach, right? And get personal coaching and have these calendars basically generated personally and kind of updated as you go. What Tracer does is brings kind of a lot of not all of the value of a personal coach, because we 100% believe in kind of, if you need somebody to talk to, you want to ask a lot of questions, you want to really interact with the human coach, that's a very valuable thing if you can afford it and if you can find a coach that is available to you, right? But a lot of times those two things don't work out, right? Like people can't afford it or they can't find somebody that really resonates with them. What Tracer does, it allows you to get this calendar that's dynamically adjusted. We've gone with Sage and Sandy have spent a ton of time going through our special onboarding process, which essentially gives us the data that we need to create an AI module that is a replacement, like a proxy is a good word. It's a proxy for Sage and Sandy at Higher Running, and to give the same workout recommendations that they would give if you were talking to them personally. Now, you don't get to talk to them personally, you just use the app, but it's their data. We don't mix it with the rest of the internet. It's not a chat GPT thing. It's their data that gets mapped, and it's able to respond to these changes and these curveballs that get thrown at your life, whether that be schedule, whether it be the way you feel, maybe you're sick, or maybe you just decide, like for example, here's a demo. Let's just say on Wednesday, I was feeling great and I decided My friends went out and I ended up running a little harder than I thought I should, or than the easy day called for. And I just ended up doing a little bit of let's just say lactate threshold here. So you can see that the calendar took that into account, as if you called Sage and said, "Hey, Sage, today I went a little harder. I ended up doing about 15 minutes threshold, man. Should I really do that fartlek tomorrow or that whatever?" And he says, "No, that's good enough. Let's call that your workout for the week. Let's do recovery tomorrow and then move on from there." And so that's really what Tracer, that's why you pay the money for Tracer. That is more expensive than a static training plan, because you are getting much more quality programming that allows you to excel. And that's what this is all about. And this is why Sage and Sandy and our coaches make money when you sign up for Tracer as well. They're a part of that and have put their heart and soul into these programs. So any final words, Sage? I know that was an earful from me. Any final words from your side around what people should know about this program?
Yeah, I mean, you covered it really well. It reflects our philosophy, and I've had a lot of experience. Before I was doing ultra trail running, I was like a professional sponsored runner doing half marathons on the road. So really reflects that philosophy and kind of my personal touch. And like you said, with the other Tracer coaches, it's all reflecting our philosophy and all the input that we put into it as coaches. So it's a very dynamic, personalized type of plan. And yeah, I just love the icons, being able to pull it up on the app and, provide real-time feedback on a daily basis is hugely valuable, having it adjust like that automatically. So yeah, I'm excited to see how people progress with this plan. And it's a great thing to, even if you're an ultra runner, to work on your speed sometimes, especially in the spring or winter. So yeah, excited to get it out there and see how people improve their fitness and speed.
I feel some PRs coming for people. I mean that. I've looked at this training that you guys have put together and I'm super excited. And Sandy's new 100K program that just came out on Tracer. Check that out if anybody's watching this and is doing a 100K or ballpark that distance in on like a trail ultra marathon. But yeah, like I know people are going to use this thing and go set PRs in half marathons. We do give a free trial to anybody who wants to try this. We won't bill you until your 2 weeks are up. And then not only do we give you a free trial, we guarantee that it'll help you to get faster. And what we mean by that is if you're executing your workouts, you're doing your thing, and you're using this program, and you get 2 months in and you've been paying us to have access to this app, and you're like, this thing does not work, this thing doesn't make me faster, assuming that you're actually doing your part of the deal, no problem. You just hit us up. We will push the refund button. We'll make it right. We'll do whatever we need to do to make sure that you don't feel like you've gotten ripped off. And we can say that because we genuinely feel like that's not a risk. Like, these are really high quality programs. We have no interest in building a gimmick, and Sage doesn't, Joey doesn't, Jason doesn't, nobody from Tracer wants to build anything gimmicky. These are real training programs that are designed to help you get faster. We stand by that, and you can put us to the test on that. So awesome. Thanks so much, Sage. Appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thanks for having me on.